Before the Great War began, the Austro-Hungarian Army showed little interest in armored vehicles. They had been offered several designs, including the Austro-Daimler armored car in 1905 and the remarkably modern Burstyn Tank concept in 1911, which even featured a revolving turret. Both were rejected, with one demonstration allegedly causing a scandal by scaring the horses of high-ranking officials. This backward thinking and ignoring new technologies meant that when war was declared in July 1914, the Empire possessed no armored cars. However, the reality of war quickly challenged this perspective. As the conflict progressed, the Austro-Hungarian troops began to encounter armored cars used by the Russians and later the Italian armies, creating an urgent need for their own armored vehicles. In 1915, two main Austro-Hungarian armored car designs appeared: the simpler Junovicz and the Romfell, which was notably more elegant and sophisticated in appearance. The vehicle was a brainchild of Hauptmann Branko Romanic, commander of the Kraftfahrenstützes Depot No. 39 in Budapest, and Oberleutnant Szymon Fellner, who oversaw the depot's main workshop. They combined surnames gave the car its distinctive name. They were supported by a small team, including Lieutenant Emil Vidéki, Imre Kádár, and Lieutenant Ágoston and Lieutenant Fazekas. What makes the Romfell's origin interesting is its unofficial beginning. Romanic and Fellner started working on the armored car in the spring of 1915 as a private enterprise, without the initial knowledge or involvement of the Austro-Hungarian War Ministry or Army Command. The ministry only became aware of the project when the team made a formal request to Siemens and Halske for a wireless radio. The initial reaction was somewhat disapproval, viewing the conversion as a waste of a much needed car. This bureaucratic resistance to new innovation is a common theme in military history, where the established norms often clash with groundbreaking ideas, especially in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Fortunately, the Romfell found a supporter. Oberleutnant Erich Kurzel Adler von Rundsteiner, a technical consultant from the War Ministry, inspected the vehicle and he was really impressed. He provided a very positive report that praised its craftsmanship and recognized its potential for military application. This convinced the War Ministry to accept the Romfell into service. The car was completed by the end of July 1915 at the Automotive Replacement Depot in Budapest. From a technical standpoint, the Romfell was considered one of the better armored cars of World War I. It featured an elegantly designed and pleasing appearance, which was uncommon for armored vehicles of the time. Its design incorporated advanced ideas such as the use of slope armor, which was engineered to deflect bullets more effectively by preventing them from hitting at a direct angle. Furthermore, it included provisions for an anti-air pintle mount for its machine gun and even proposed plans for a wireless radio with a range of 100-150 km. The Romfell's initial configuration was built up on a Mercedes 37/90 PS chassis, which was from 1913-1914. This chassis was a chain-driven and powered by a 4-cylinder 4-stroke engine with a displacement of 9,530 cc, capable of delivering around 90-95 horsepower at 1,300 rpm. Despite its heavy weight of approximately 5 tons, this robust engine allowed the Romfell to achieve between 28 and 40 km per hour on good roads and up to around 25 km per hour on off-road under favorable conditions, of course. Power was transmitted to the rear wheels via 4-speed manual gearbox. The primary armament of the Romfell was an 8mm Schwarzlos M07/12 machine gun housed within a 1100mm turret that could rotate full 360 degrees. This machine gun could be elevated by 45 degrees and depressed by 30 degrees. A large forward hinging hatch on the top of the turret allowed the machine gun to be fitted in a pintle mount at the rear, enabling it to use as an anti-aircraft weapon. The vehicle was designed to carry around 20,000 rounds of ammunition, with 8,000 carried internally and the rest in a towed trailer. For close quarter combat, the crew also carried a Steyr M95 rifle and 2 Steyr 1912 pistols. The Romfell's armor was constructed from nickel chrome steel plates riveted to metal frame. The thickness of the armor varies strategically: 2 to 2.5 mm for the roof and other horizontal sections, 4.5-5 mm for less critical chassis parts, and the strongest plates, measuring around 6.5-7 mm thick, was used on the sides of the body and the vertical parts of the turret. The international use of sloped armor with side plates tilted outwards at a 75-degree angle was a modern feature designed to deflect bullets more effectively, optimizing protection while managing weight. The Romfell also had a few smart features. The vehicle could carry 170 liters of fuel, but this was divided divided into 5 separate tanks, with the largest located in the rear. This design choice aimed to prevent the complete loss of fuel if one of the tanks were damaged in the combat. At the lower rear, the Romfell featured an extrusion with 2 iron bars and a sharp edge, connected by a horizontal bar and a chain. This contraption could be lowered to the ground to anchor the vehicle, preventing it from sliding if it had to stop on a slope. The engine's radiator was protected by an armored shutter, ensuring airflow while providing protection against incoming fire. The original design also included a small single-axe trailer intended to transport more fuel, ammunition, and spare parts. However, this trailer proved to be impractical. Its storage space was limited and it reduced the Romfell's mobility. Due to this, it was quickly discontinued and a separate support truck was used instead. The Romfell's operational history began with its first test drive on July 30, 1915, covering a distance of 100 kilometers. Soon after, in the fall of the same year, it participated in a large military parade in Budapest, organized to support the Red Cross. The vehicle's appearance was well received by onlookers. Following this impressive public debut and inspection by the War Ministry in Vienna, the Romfell was officially accepted into service. On October 11, 1915, it was issued to the 7th Army and attached to the 36th Infantry Troops Division near Bucha, which is in Ukraine today. Despite its deployment, the Romfell saw limited major combat in its early days on the Eastern Front, although it participated in the Brusilov offensive. By August 11, 1916, less than a year after its acceptance, the original Mercedes chassis was already badly worn out. It was withdrawn from its unit and sent back for major repairs and rebuilding at the Kraftwagen Werkstatt number 36 in Steyr. After an 11-month period of silence in the records, the Romfell reappeared in June 1917 in Ljubljana. By 1918, a significant decision was made. Its worn-out Mercedes chassis would be replaced with a captured Italian Fiat 18BL truck. Even though the Fiat engine had less horsepower, it had 44 horsepower compared to the Mercedes' 95 horsepower, the new chassis was considerably lighter, reducing the total weight by 1.5 tons to 3.5 tons. This weight reduction allowed the Romfell to maintain a respectable speed of around 35 km per hour on roads. This chassis change also contributed to the historical confusion, with some earlier publications incorrectly suggesting that the second Romfell was built. However, modern research indicates that only one Romfell was produced, with its armored body later transferred to the Fiat chassis. In June 1918, the Romfell was sent to Udine in Italy to join the KUK Panzerautozug No. 1, the first Austro-Hungarian armored car platoon. This unit was an interesting collection of vehicles, including 2 Junovicz armored cars, captured ones like the Lancia 1ZM, an Austin armored car, and an Isotta Fascini. However, this platoon saw very little action for the remainder of the war, mostly operating behind the front lines. The Romfell story takes a remarkable turn after the armistice, which was signed in 1918, ending World War I. While many thought its fighting days were over, a small group of determined Austro-Hungarian soldiers led by Zugsführer Johann Amann chose to continue the fight. They retreated to Carinthia in southern Austria, taking the Romfell and the captured British Austin armored car with them to defend against Yugoslavian troops in border disputes. The Romfell played a direct and crucial role in these intense localized conflicts. It participated in attacks on cities like Völkermarkt and defended Austrian troops near Grafenstein in December 1918. When the ceasefire broke on April 29, 1919, the Romfell was at the forefront of the action, supporting infantry advances, clearing roads, and performing reconnaissance missions. It was instrumental in the attack on Völkermarkt again on 6th of May 1919, when it was tasked with supplying machine gun units on the front line with ammunition. This shift from large-scale trench warfare to mobile border conflicts allowed the Romfell's capabilities, its speed, firepower, and light armor to become highly valuable for small, agile forces. After 6th of May 1919, the Romfell simply disappears from historical records. Its ultimate fate remains unknown, adding a final layer of mystery to its already unique and unexpected story.